Some yard upgrades look impressive, cost thousands of dollars, and still do almost nothing to improve the space. Usually, the problem is not the upgrade itself. It is buying it for the wrong reason, putting it in the wrong place, or expecting it to solve a problem it was never designed to fix. Welcome back to Garden Guru. Today, I'm ranking 7 yard upgrades that often are not worth the money, and showing you what may be a smarter investment instead. Let's get into it. Number 7. Massive decorative boulders. Let's start with one that may be slightly controversial. Large, decorative boulders can look incredible in the right landscape. They can add weight, structure, texture, and a sense of permanence. But they are also expensive to buy, transport, place, and move later. And in a lot of residential yards, 1 or 2 large rocks are added because the space feels empty. The homeowner knows something is missing, so the boulder becomes the solution. But a boulder cannot fix weak circulation, poor planting structure, a lack of privacy, too much sun, or a patio that no one wants to use. Sometimes it becomes a very expensive object sitting in the middle of an unresolved yard. The biggest issue is scale. A boulder that looks impressive at the stone yard can look strangely isolated once it is dropped into a suburban lawn. And because it is so visually heavy, it needs to feel connected to the rest of the landscape. That usually means integrating it into a planting bed, grade change, dry creek, retaining feature, or larger composition. It should look like the landscape formed around it, not like a truck delivered it yesterday. So, are decorative boulders never worth the money? No. But if the plan is simply to purchase one large rock and hope it creates character, there are usually better places to spend that money first. Number 6. Outdoor kitchens most people rarely use. Outdoor kitchens are one of the most aspirational yard upgrades, and when they match the homeowner's lifestyle, they can be fantastic. But they can also become one of the most expensive, unused features in the yard. The problem is that people often design the kitchen before they design the outdoor experience around it. They add a built-in grill, counters, storage, a refrigerator, and maybe even a sink. But the area still has no shade. It still feels exposed to the neighbors. The seating is uncomfortable. The kitchen is too far from the house. Or the homeowner realizes that carrying food, dishes, ingredients, and supplies outside is more work than expected. The limiting factor was not the lack of an outdoor kitchen. It was that the space was not comfortable enough to use. Before spending heavily on built-in cooking features, ask how often you already cook and eat outside. If you use a simple grill and dining table constantly, then an outdoor kitchen may be a logical upgrade. But if the patio itself is rarely used, adding more equipment probably will not change that. Fix the comfort first. Add shade. Improve privacy. Make the seating work. Strengthen the connection to the house. Then decide whether the kitchen is actually the missing piece. Because an outdoor kitchen is worth the money when it supports a habit you already have. It is much less likely to be worth it when you are hoping the purchase will create the habit for you. 10-second break to tell you there's a link in the video description for a free guide I made for you. It's called 5-Yard Design Moves That Fix Almost Any Outdoor Space. If that sounds enticing, be sure to download it. I think you'll love it. Now, back to the video. Number 5. Huge annual flower budgets. Annual flowers create immediate color. They fill containers quickly. They brighten entries, patios, and flower beds. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with enjoying them. The problem is when annuals become the main strategy for making the yard feel finished. A homeowner may spend hundreds of dollars every spring filling large beds and containers. The yard looks fantastic for a season. Then cold weather arrives, the display disappears, and the same money must be spent again the following year. Over time, that adds up quickly. And because annuals create such fast visual impact, they can also distract from larger problems. The bed may still lack structure. The planting may still feel flat. The yard may still have weak focal points or poor proportions. The annuals temporarily cover the issue without actually fixing it. A smarter approach is to use annual flowers strategically. Place them where seasonal color matters most, near the front door, around a patio, in a few important containers, or in small gaps while permanent planting fills in. Then put more of the long-term budget into shrubs, grasses, perennials, ground covers, and structural plants that return or remain year after year. Annuals are worth the money when they are the finishing layer. They become expensive when they are being asked to carry the entire landscape. Number 4. Expensive mature trees for instant impact. Trees take time, and when a yard feels empty, it is tempting to buy the biggest tree the budget allows. The assumption is simple. A larger tree gives you a more mature yard immediately. But large specimen trees come with several trade-offs. They cost significantly more to purchase and install. They require more equipment. They lose a larger portion of their root system during transplanting. And they may take longer to establish than a smaller tree. In some cases, the smaller tree begins growing aggressively, while the larger one spends several years recovering from transplant stress. That means the size advantage may shrink faster than expected. The bigger tree can also be harder to water properly and more vulnerable if installation, staking, or aftercare is not handled well. None of this means large trees are always a poor investment. There are times when immediate screening, scale, or shade matters enough to justify the cost. But homeowners should understand what they are buying. They are not always buying years of guaranteed growth. Sometimes they are buying a larger plant with a more difficult establishment period. A healthy, appropriately sized younger tree often adapts more quickly, develops a stronger root system, and gives you more flexibility in placement. The best value is not necessarily the biggest tree you can afford. It is the healthiest tree that fits the site, can be installed correctly, and has the best chance of thriving for decades. Number 3. Water features that are too small to become destinations. Water can completely change the feeling of a yard. It adds movement, sound, reflection, and atmosphere. But small water features are often purchased because the homeowner wants the emotional experience of water without committing enough space or design thought to create it. The result may be a small, prefabricated fountain placed near a patio or dropped into a planting bed. At first, it feels charming. Then, the pump becomes audible. The basin collects debris. Water evaporates constantly. Algae appears. The sound is weaker than expected, and the feature begins feeling more like an appliance than part of the landscape. The issue is not always size alone. It is whether the feature has enough presence and context to justify the maintenance. A good water feature creates a reason to notice it. It may become a focal point from inside the house. It may anchor a seating area. It may create enough sound to change the atmosphere of a patio. Or it may be integrated naturally into planting, stone, and grade. A weak water feature often sits alone without improving how the yard is used. Before spending money, ask what job the water feature is supposed to perform. Is it meant to provide sound? Create a focal point? Attract wildlife? Make a seating area feel cooler or calmer? If it is too small, too quiet, or too disconnected to do that job, it may not be worth the maintenance. Water features are worth the money when they become part of the experience of the yard. They are much less compelling when they become one more object to clean. Number 2. Large hardscape projects before solving the layout. Hardscape is one of the most expensive things you can add to a yard. Patios, walkways, retaining walls, built-in seating, and outdoor rooms can all add major value. But they also make the layout much harder to change. That is why large hardscape projects are often not worth the money when the homeowner has not solved the yard first. A new patio may cost thousands of dollars and still sit in the hottest part of the property. A beautiful walkway may follow the wrong route. A fire pit may end up too exposed, too windy, or too far from where people naturally gather. The problem is that hardscape feels like progress. It is visible, permanent, and expensive, so it seems like it must improve the yard. But permanence does not guarantee usefulness. Before committing to a large hardscape project, test the layout. Use temporary chairs to test a seating area. Mark the edge of a patio with a garden hose. Walk the proposed route repeatedly. Pay attention to sun, wind, privacy, drainage, and how the space connects to the house. Then, ask whether that is actually where people want to spend time. A smaller patio in the right place is usually worth more than a massive patio in the wrong one. And a simple gravel or mulch path can help confirm circulation before you commit to stone or concrete. Hardscape is often worth the money, but only after the yard has proven where it belongs. Number 1. Expensive upgrades that solve the wrong problem. This takes the number 1 spot because it includes almost every category we just discussed. The worst yard upgrade is not necessarily the most expensive one, it is the one that solves the wrong problem. A homeowner buys new furniture because the patio feels unused. But the real problem is that the patio has no shade. They buy more plants because the yard feels empty. But the real problem is that the planting beds are too small and disconnected. They install a pergola because the space feels exposed. But the pergola does not actually block the neighbor's view. They add lighting because the yard feels uncomfortable at night. But the real issue is poor circulation or seating in the wrong location. They buy decor because the yard lacks personality. But the real problem is that there is no structure, focal point, or clear hierarchy. This is how homeowners spend thousands and still feel dissatisfied. The upgrade may be attractive, it may be well built, it may even add value. But if it does not address the actual source of frustration, the yard still feels wrong after the money is gone. The most valuable upgrade is the one that changes how the yard actually feels and functions. The most expensive upgrade is solving the wrong problem beautifully. A quick test before spending the money. Before buying a major yard upgrade, ask yourself 3 questions. What exact problem am I trying to solve? Will this change how I actually use or experience the yard? And if I removed the price tag and visual excitement, would this still be the best solution? If you cannot clearly answer those questions, pause before spending the money. The yard may need something, but it may not need the thing you are currently shopping for.
Well, there you have it. Some yard upgrades can be fantastic, but only when they solve the right problem in the right place. Be sure and grab one of the free garden guides from my website. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep getting your hands dirty. I'd appreciate it if you like this video, subscribe to Garden Guru, and I'll see you in the next one.